now right here, now the next thing, the testes, paired oval glands, and so forth. The main thing, now here's the thing I want you to emphasize on. I want to emphasize on this. They originate behind the parietal peritoneum, near the level of the developing kidneys, and the descent of the testicle or testes is guided by a fibromuscular cord known as the gubernaculum. Now, where they came up with that name, I do not know. That always gets a little bit of a chuckle. The word gubernaculum. Where that comes from, you know, the descent through the inguinal canal begins at the latter half of the 7th month. In other words, if a baby's born prematurely, like that, I mean real premature, it's the male baby, then the testes might not have even descended. They might be born without the testes being descended, being where they're supposed to be. All right, so right there, that's out of the book by Seeley Stevens and Tate. And there you see, right up here is the testicle right there. You should see the word gubernaculum. There's the word gubernaculum. There's the testes way up there, approximately 2 months. That would be 2 months in the embryological, in the time period. There's the 3 months, you know, that's the beginning to, there's approximate birth right here, and then the adult, they're on down where they're supposed to be normally. All right, so that's kind of the way that oh, come on. All right. Okay, now right here, cryptorchidism, that is the situation where the testes fail to descend. That is the deal. They fail to descend. The result is sterility because of the high abdominal temperature. And so then another thing with this stuff, everybody, I'm surprised some of you haven't heard of that before, didn't know about it. Cryptorchidism, understand? Okay, you have, haven't you? Yeah. You what now? In your medical, so you've heard of that. Yeah, good. Cryptorchidism. And they probably say in your medical terminology that you don't leave the testicle that way. Now, I talked to a pediatrician, or had a girl in my class that her little boy, baby, had that situation. Now, I think now, the typical way, and you tell me, did they tell you, I think now the typical way to treat this is through surgery. Yeah. A surgical procedure. Surgery usually around 10 or 11 years old. Before they hit puberty. Before the child hits puberty. Now with Ted, they treated him, that was way back there though. They did some hormonal treatment and it ended up being a problem. But now I'd heard, and she confirms that in her medical terminology, someone had told me they treat this with a surgical procedure before the child hits, probably before 12, 8 or 9, somewhere along there, before puberty. And so this is the way that's kind of handled. And also, did they mention this in your medical terminology class? That it's 30 to 50 times the probability of cancer.
Yeah, because of what's...
In other words, cancer of the testes, if it remains in the cryptorchid mode, that the possibility of cancer of that. I had a guy in my class one time, his mother was in here with him. They were both going for nursing. This guy played basketball at one of these high schools in Pasadena. And he had been diagnosed in high school with testicular cancer. And he was a nice guy. I guess he went up, got out, he was a big, tall fellow. Started for Sam Rayburn High School in basketball. But he had been diagnosed at that young age, at 17 or 18. Might have been with testicular cancer. He had been treated for that. As far as I know, everything was okay. In fact, I saw his mother talked to her about a year after they got out of the course, and she said he was doing quite well, no problems, and so forth. But anyway, hormones or surgery, and I think really the preferred way to treat that now is through surgical procedure on that situation. Now the testes are covered by, now this is what we saw in lab a while ago. They're covered by a dense, white fibrous connective tissue called the tunica albuginea, which it extends inward and divides each testis into a series of lobules. Now this is what we talked about in lab. Now I want you to see this. The lobules are filled with the seminiferous tubules. All right, and there's going to be a diagram of that. The route, now this is what you got to know. I'm going to show you this. You got to know this. This you got to know. The route of the sperm goes, remember we talked about it in the lab a while ago. The seminiferous tubule, the straight tubule. Now I'm going to show you this on the diagram. The straight tubule, the rete testis, okay, the efferent ducts, the ductus epididymis, the vas deferens. Okay, now I'm going to show you. This goes up to a certain point now. It doesn't go all the way to the outside of the body. All right, I'm going to show you a picture of this. All right, now y'all follow this. This is important. This is going to be on your test right here. Watch this. All right, let me show you. Here's what we looked at in class a while ago. We looked at a section through this showing us that this highly coiled, it's really more highly coiled than the diagram shows. Here, there's the tunica albuginea. These things are called a lobule or lobule. Here's the vas deferens. Okay, from the vas deferens, where the spermatogenesis occurs under the influence of the follicle-stimulating hormone, the spermatozoa will go into what's called the straight tubule. You see the word straight right there. The straight tubule, this is them. From the straight tubule to the rete testis, it almost looks like a cobweb. The rete testis. From the rete testis, it goes to the efferent duct. From the efferent ducts, or more than one, efferent ducts to the epididymis. Now this is the epididymis right here, and this is where the spermatozoa do most of their maturing, in the epididymis. There is nothing in a female that has the complication or complicated tube system like this. Female tube system is not. And these tubes are very, very small. And see, in sexually transmitted disease like Neisseria gonorrhea, backs up through the urethra, can totally wipe out all this. The old folks used to call it, some guys used to work for me, they call it the claps. You ever heard that term? You ever heard the term the claps? They call it the claps. I had a meat cutter one time. He got gonorrhea. I said, man, you better go. Oh man, he was a player. I said, man, you got to be careful with what you're doing, you know? Man, I'm so hurting down there. Hey, you better go to the doctor, buddy. You better get on. I've been teaching him that. I said, you know what? That's going to totally destroy you. Oh man, he was going to tough it out. The most macho person who can't tough that out. No matter how, don't tell them how. It don't make no difference, as they say in the woods. It don't make no difference how macho they think they are. They can't handle that bread. I mean, that hurt was horrible. You know, you have painful dysuria, aching, burning, all that. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm not talking from experience. No, I'm not talking. No. But so this big cutter's name was J.P. That was his James Preston. J.P. Oh man, he was quite a basketball player. Now he was a black guy, big black guy, tall, good ball player, etc., etc. But he got in some trouble. Now he did go to the doctor, and the penicillin did take effect for him. The penicillin worked, and he got over his situation. I think he was more careful from then on. All right, but anyway, everybody, there is the epididymis right there. Epididymis. Then this thing, another name for the vas deferens. We don't call it the ductus deferens. We call it vas deferens. And there it goes. And there's the term spermatic cord. And again, there are a lot of blood vessels and nerves and so forth in that cord right there. So there's a sagittal section right there, just kind of showing you the hookup right there. And so there you can kind of see that. And then this is what you looked at in lab. Here's what we had in lab a while ago. And so right here, see, and you need to kind of jot down, make sure you know, in spermatogenesis, the spermatogonium is the stem cell. Then there's a primary spermatocyte. See, spermatogonium would be out of it. It doesn't even have any kind of, you can't even really see much to it. Then the primary spermatocyte, the nucleus takes more shape. All right, that's the primary. Spermatogonium is 2N. Primary spermatocyte is 2N. Secondary spermatocyte, see, it's getting closer to it. Meiosis has occurred. You follow me? Meiosis has occurred. So you might want to write down, just in the sideline, spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid. You might want to write those terms down. Because as it gets into the center here, into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, This thing is a spermatid. It's an immature sperm cell. It's not capable of fertilizing yet. It's got to mature. Where is it going to mature? In the epididymis primarily. So this is it. Then it's going to move from here. From here, it will go to, see if you remember this, from here it will go to the straight tubule, from the straight tubule to the rete testis, from the rete testis to the ductus efferens, from the ductus efferens to the epididymis, from the epididymis to the vas deferens, from the vas deferens to the urethra, actually. It's going to go through the prostatic urethra, the membranous urethra, and the spongy cavernosum urethra, which is in the penis. And that's the way, that is the route of the sperm. The route, we didn't go through tail end of that a while ago. But anyway, now, these cells right here, okay, now look at this. You looked at this a while ago. This will be on your lab test. There's the Leydig, interstitial cell of Leydig. That produces testosterone. That produces testosterone. These cells right here, everybody, these cells right here called Sertoli cells, these are, and we mentioned them in class a while ago, those are, they're nutritive cells. They're the nutritive cells. Okay? Everybody pretty good with that? Everybody pretty good with that? You got that jotted down what you need there? You got anything jotted down?